Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is Bigfoot here today, bringing you another episode of my Airline Tycoon series with Phoenix Travel. So in today's episode, we're in the bank straight away. I ended the last episode, I believe, on the Friday evening, so I've let the game, and the time I've loaded the game and started recording, it usually takes a few minutes. So the day has trickled over into Saturday, and as we can also see here, the time is at midday. But there's been a change, a big change in the bank. As we can see here, there is not very many shares actually being taken right now, and as you can see, Mario, the owner of Honey Airlines, only has 20%. So what we're going to go ahead and do is try and buy as much as possible. I don't know if I will be able to take over the airline or not, considering the amount of shares. No, I can't take over the airline, but that's the thing we really need to work towards anyway. So he's issued a shit ton more shares, and I need to go ahead and work towards and really get that, because this is a really good opportunity for me, and I also want to get in there before any other airlines do as well. With regards to other airlines, nothing much has really changed, but this is a real big opportunity to go ahead and take over another airline and inherit planes, routes, and just in general a lot of capital. Right, so let's go ahead and see what we can do here. I'm going to go for now just 12, I can't even... How much is 2%? That's what I'm wanting, 2%. This starts low, I guess we can go for it. Let's just start with 2% because we're actually currently working towards quite a few things, so I think that's the best way to go about it. So, I don't want to buy any more. Right, so that's me, the second leading shareholder or stockholder. I said stakeholder and I shouldn't have said stakeholder the other episode, I do apologise about that. That is that on the go. Right, so we know that situation, I've been monitoring it and I feel it has been coming for a while. I know it's a trait, so it's always been at the back of my mind. But what we're doing in this episode is quite a few different things. We are basically, in the last episode, if you haven't seen it, we went ahead and sold 2 planes we bought in the previous episode to that, and then bought a brand new plane, this Bamberg, which is flying to Bangkok a lot. As we can see here, it's doing not too bad. It's doing a lot of first and second class, so it's earning about 12k per trip, which isn't a large amount. However, we're hoping to go ahead and increase that by upgrading this plane. On top of that, I do want to save up to get more aircraft, and we're still taking orders as well on the Cuxhaven, which we need to go ahead and fill up. For me to go ahead and make more money on this Bamberg, what I want to do is, the plane is full, which is good, and same with the Erfurt, these planes are both full. However, for me to make more money, I want to get more first class out of this route, and to get more first class, if you see where the passengers is on the right hand side of the screen over where my mouse was going to go, it's at 119 by 7, so that's the maximum capacity for this Bamberg plane. 119 second class passengers and 7 first class. I can seat, I believe, up to 14 first class passengers, so I really want to go ahead and fill that up to actually just get the maximization out of the plane's profit. Right now it's sitting at around 12k, however I do want it to be that bit higher. To go ahead and increase the in-flight capacity with first class, I need to go ahead and just basically upgrade the plane. As we can see on the inside it's all 3 stars, but on the outside that's the problem, it's not, and it costs a lot of money to go ahead and make changes to the outside of the plane, but I want to do all of this so we can go ahead and really get that first class underway. Right, anyway, let's jump down into air travel, probably last minute, but last minute's not open on a Saturday, is it? So we're just going to have to go ahead and fill up with some of these orders here in air travel. Now, I do have a few Easter eggs, I do have a few bits of feedback which I want to integrate into today's episode as well, which we'll get to shortly. The thing is, I really want to raise a lot of cash really quickly so I can buy Honey Airlines, but the way the series has gone, I've never actually had a lot of cash, which is really unfortunate. Right, so let's go ahead and take a few of these flights until Wednesday. I'm just going to take them all, literally. We should be able to fly Riyadh. I think we'll be able to get 3 Sunday flights in, not a problem. I did realise I did take 3 long-haul Sundays there, but we should be able to fit them all in. I'm hoping anyway. So let's go ahead and start with the Cuxhaven straight away, just because it is wasting money. So Riyadh to Singapore, Singapore to Delhi, and then Tokyo to Singapore. Right, okay, that works not too bad. I think what we should do is fly out to Riyadh now. So we'll get the plane leaving straight away, and then that will... I don't think we're going to get all these in, you know that. Singapore to Delhi, but then it's going to have to fly to Tokyo. How long is that going to take? Yeah, too long. Right, so the penalty for that one's 100,000. Penalty for that is too high, and the penalty for that is too high. These two are really good profit planes though. Really good. This one isn't too bad. The penalty is going to suck, but I might be able to fly it in another plane actually. I'm not 100% sure, but the airfort should be able to do that, and it can do that, which is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all the scheduled flights out of tomorrow and then go to Tokyo. And we can actually get some Singapore in the evening anyway, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and do some Bangkok to Singapore's in there, just like that. So the problem has been solved. Thankfully the airfare, although it's not my primary plane, it is still a very, very good plane. So it can fly pretty much everywhere except Riyadh and over into Africa as well. Okay, so going back to the Cuxhaven now, then we've got some more flights. Monday to Hong Kong, that's easy enough to do. Then Singapore to Peking. Some of these aren't as profitable, but we'll still do them anyway. So that's Singapore to Peking. That is no efficient way of doing that, unfortunately. And then we've got a Bangkok to Singapore of all flights, which we could actually do coming back from Peking to actually save us a bit of money there. That gets us 33,000. So that's us booked up to Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and tick forward into tomorrow and call it quits. So just talking about the last few episodes, I guess you could say, we have gone ahead and there's been a lot going on. There's also been quite a bit of feedback given. First of all, just slowing down again because this episode I felt started very quick, just with me breaking the news that Honey Airlines is going pretty much bankrupt. First of all, we've reached over 100,000 passengers, which is great to see. Our image is still on the increase somehow. Our personnel, again, that's always been a bit of a problem, and our planes are in very good shape as well. So with regards to some feedback, people have been telling me that we're looking at planes, there might actually be a second page in with the plane shop, which I'd not actually come across. Someone mentioned it in the comments, and I'm not at all sure if there is. So if I'd like to buy a plane, is there a second page? There is a second page. Oh my word, I didn't know there was a second page. And that explains a lot because we've got quite a lot of comments here. So a lot of people were suggesting the 737 for short haul and medium. That is MAS Pilot and Eathmeister. Then for long haul, maybe the 767s, which kind of makes sense, the 777s or the 787s. However, I'm not at all sure you get 787s in this game. But this makes a lot of sense now because I was very much unsure where all these were. But there's a second page. I didn't know about this somehow. So that really opens doors a lot. So with regards to planes we're saving up for, we're not actually really focusing on another plane right now. I guess I'm just trying to make money and then go from there, because we're not going to be able to get a new plane this episode anyway. I just want to really raise some capital. So what we'll probably do later on in this episode is jump through days very, very quickly. A lot of these planes I'd maybe like, for example for short distance, this here, the 737-800 is an ideal plane. However, I do not have 48 million at all, but it would be so profitable if I could have it in my hands. We'll get to that stage though. There is a lot of good planes in here which I would love, but again, it's all about that money, and I do not really have much money, so let's go ahead and make some money. Okay, so returning back into the office now. We should actually go to the bank, I think, first of all, because I just want to really continuously monitor my situation. Arguably, I could use my notebook quite more. Someone suggested that in the comments. I think it was Sebstar5000. Thank you to you. You said use my notebook a bit more. I rarely use my notebook, to be fair. I'm not really at all sure why, but I just don't. I guess there's a lot of stuff you can't get in here. It's a lot to do really with your own scheduling. You can only really access, which I'm in the office most of the time anyway, so that's probably why I don't really use it too much. Okay, so looking at Honey share prices, they've gone up, probably because I bought some. That's gone ahead and raising, but no other airline has jumped in yet, which is good. So I'm happy about that. With regards to everything else, nothing has really changed. I just want those share prices to really drop, and then I come in and make a swoop. Because 56 is quite high, I would maybe go ahead and wait until it drops and I have a bit more capital. So I can go ahead and, I guess, just buy lots and lots of shares at once. Right, okay, so having a look here, we're free from Tuesday now, so let's go ahead and look at some flights from Tuesday. Delhi to Singapore can be done on Wednesday. I would love to fly that route to Africa on Monday, but that's not going to be possible. We got another Monday flight in there. Tuesday, Singapore to Seoul, we can definitely do. We can get either flight doing that, actually, because it's a short enough distance, so the airfare can go ahead and do that. And that would work fine. I also want to go ahead and just do one or two other things before we actually wrap up today. So, yes, we're free on Tuesday, which is good. Gate issues, though, which is interesting. So let's go ahead and put you in there, and then Delhi to Singapore will have you fly out in the Wednesday morning. So that goes from Seoul to Delhi, so that's quite inefficient, but we are carrying some cargo in there. So only losing 21,000, but we do very much gonna be making it up with some really profitable flights in the Cuxhaven over the next few days. The airfare sorted, you're up, flying from Tokyo down back here to Singapore, and then all round in here we're doing quite nice as well with the Bamberg, with pretty consistent full flights. Right, okay, so let's jump forward 2 days and really just check on stuff. I did just say that I wanted to do stuff before I went to end the day, which we'll go ahead and do now actually. So today is now Monday. I want to see, so we've got capacity use of 78%. I still want to know who's the unknown. And I also maybe want to pick up a really basic route like Singapore to Mail, because that is a really easy route. Really not a lot of high requirements at all, but I'd like to continue to go with that. I really want to start going ahead and taking one of these Australian routes. I really badly do, but I just don't have the planes for it right now. I could, I guess, actually with the Erfurt and Cuxhaven. So we could literally just go to routes, couldn't we? So say the Bamberg is exclusively to Bangkok, and then the Erfurt switches between the Bangkok some days, and then also it does one flight to Australia per day, for example. And then we have the Cuxhaven flying to Australia all the time. Because that could really work. And it's maybe worth doing. We'll go ahead and roll over into tomorrow anyway and really see how things are. Because, again, I just need a bit more capital, you know. I'm really wanting that capital for the time being. Right, so that's 3.4 million we're at now, which is good. Images hit 40%, which is very nice also. So with that said, I need to go ahead and get some more flights to the Cuxhaven anyway from Wednesday onwards. So we'll go ahead and very quickly do that. I'll then jump into the bank, maybe into the advertisers as well. I know my Bangkok route is at 100%, so I really just want to go ahead and take that spider. And there's a reason for that. But what I really want to see is, I guess, because the route image is at 100%, I should be getting a lot more first class, and I really just want to see that first class fill up, because that's where we're realistically going to make our money. Right, so that's a flight down to Melbourne, which is ideal. That will bring us in a decent amount of money. On Wednesday, we can fly to Riyadh, though that's quite a bit of money. Singapore to Tokyo on Friday, yes please. Until Monday, yes please. Friday, we can fit that in. Wednesday, can we go? Yes, we can, but which is the more profitable? The Delhi one. So let's take the Delhi flight, and that should be us sorted. So the thing is, I am saying I want to go ahead and maybe switch over to our routes and go for an Australian one, but these orders today have been so profitable. It's quite surprising actually, so I'm not really at all sure. That's actually to Delhi to Singapore's back-to-back, which is interesting. Though we're going to have some gate issues, which is frustrating. That's the real problem when you have 3 planes, I guess, just flying back to back to back to back. What we're going to do is we're going to do a Singapore to Bangkok on the big plane, which is fine by me. It just means that it's 180 passengers, so I can't fly it on the Bamberg anyway. Hong Kong to Singapore, we can do that on the Thursday during the day if we have a free gate. Then we need to fly to Tokyo, which is fine, and then Melbourne. That's going to be a long flight, but again, we've got some cargo there, so it's only a loss of 25k, plus the Cuxhaven is a really profitable plane, and then we get 175,000 profit on the Saturday, which is perfect. Right, okay, so let's do one more day forward, and then we're going to go to the bank, and then I think we're going to pick up an Australian route, because I think we just need to get consistent money coming in now. We're doing really well for raising cash. We've only gone forward 4 days in this episode and we're up to 4.5 million, which is good. So let's go down into the bank and see what's changed. Hopefully some shares have dropped in price. Hopefully, oh, it's one of these days. I've not had one of these days in a long time. I don't know if we've had one of these days this series actually. However, we have the cure. The tablets have been taken, so that was me hit by sabotage essentially there. But it all is good. Right, so the share price is at 52. I'm wondering how much I could get for 4.5 million. This is more out of curiosity. I'm not going to execute it. So 38%. I mean, I need 51%, so realistically, I am a long way off that amount of money. I can probably go ahead, and I'm happy to go ahead and buy maybe like 5% right now, because that'll cost us a little bit of money. So let's go ahead and do that. So that brings us up to 7% of the shares. But again, it's just going to have to... I'm not going to be able to... I don't really like the way I'm doing this, because I'm only going to be gaining maybe 1 million per day, and then what I'm going to be doing after that is I'm simply just going to be buying maybe like 5% of shares, and that's going to take me a really long time to go ahead and take over that airline. So what we're going to do is we're going to invest in a route, and we're going to invest in the Singapore to Perth route. So the rent actually isn't too bad, but this should be really profitable. It's not also too long a flight as well. The Melbourne one is an extra 2 hours. I've got a feeling the Perth one's a 6-hour flight. Or no, it must be longer. If the Bangkok's a 4-hour, then this must be 8 hours, or... I'm not at all sure. But I think this should hopefully go ahead and help just give us that consistent profit that we want. Right, so the Cuxhaven's quite busy right now, which is fine. So what I want to do is I want to start to empty up the Erfurt partially, because we're going to go ahead and start to fill it up as well, because you can fly to Perth. The Perth distance-wise is 3,778 kilometers. You can fly 6,000. You also might be able to weirdly fly. No, you can't, but only by like 50 kilometers, which is crazy. But anyway, we're not wanting the Bamberg for this anyway, so that's fine. Right, so let's go ahead and start putting some of you on the Cuxhaven. And then I guess let's start getting our route really underway. So let's have a return flight from Perth. And then as of the Sunday, we just start things, I guess, frequently. So it looks like the flight time is 7 hours. So that means we can get 3 in a day with some rest, which is fine. And I'm quite happy to do that, to be honest. That allows the plane to go ahead. Plus, I'm also going to have to deal with gating issues as well. So that actually kind of works out nicely. And yeah, this is actually going to be quite a big problem, isn't it? Right, we'll put you back a bit, and then can you fit into there? We can. It's just, I'm really going to have to go ahead and work on this. I might have to buy a new gate, but again, that costs $1 million, which I really don't have right now. So, right, that'll do till Tuesday. And then with the Erfurt, we can get, I just want to make some more free days, if you will. So let's move you up to there, and you up to there. That's fine. So you're making 41,000 a trip pretty much right now. You're making a lot. Maybe not the early morning flights, but all in all, you're doing very good. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just have some days where I guess I do not fly one route and I just fly another route, for example. I think that would be the best way to do it. So let's do from Perth to Singapore and there. Singapore to Perth. Perth to Singapore. Again, some gating issues, but that should be able to be sorted like that. So that's basically what I'm wanting. So we're still going to have a lot of flights on, but it's just going to be switching in between the two routes. And then again on Sunday we'll have some more Singapore to Perths. Oh my words, gating issues are really bad. It is because I have all the planes pretty much flying chock-a-block right now, which is unfortunate. So Perth to Singapore and Singapore to Perth. And then we can maybe get another one in there as well on the Monday night. Or the Sunday evening into the Monday morning is what I'm trying to say. Right, so Singapore to Perth. It's actually, I'm finding this really difficult, you know, like looking at one screen and then looking at the other, even though it's really not that difficult. Right, so that's the Erfurt sorted, that's the Cuxhaven sorted-ish. Though gating issues are just being an absolute nightmare. Oh my, this is awful. Right, there we go. So that's the Cuxhaven sorted and the Bamberg is still fine. The problem is because the Bangkok route is so short, I've got a plane landing every I guess, 8 hours in with the airport, and that uses up one of my gates, and it uses it for 2 hours around that flight time anyway, so it's just a real eater of time. Anyway, because we've got our planes pretty much sorted, I'm going to jump forward pretty much a full half week. I got hit by sabotage, but we know what that was. That was to do with the pills. I'll need to actually get more pills, which is very important to do so as well. I've been hit by sabotage again, actually, which is not good. But anyway, we'll just jump forward to tomorrow again, because it might be the same sabotage incident just continuing over, because I know that sometimes from previous series, if you don't deal with your sabotage trots or diarrhea, whatever you want to call it, then you very much can get hit quite badly. Right, so that is us flying now consistently the Singapore to Perth, and as we can see, 123,000, I like that a lot. One thing I want to do is probably start to go ahead and advertise the route, and I also very importantly need to check my capacity with regards to the actual use of the route, because you need to meet a certain capacity minimum. I'm pretty sure, to be fair, it is 10%, so we've already met that, but it is very important that we go ahead and get that number quite high, because there's also another tenant on this route again, which I will need to find out about. I do know how I can find out about that actually. I can do some spying, and I can also get some like analysts who will tell me who flies what routes, but again, we just need to wait until we have that little bit more money. Right, okay, so let's go ahead and get some more Perths to Singapores in here if we can. Though, oh my word, I need to buy a new gate. I'm going to go buy a new gate very, very shortly, because I do have the money right now, actually. This is awful. Right, there we go, that works nicely. Again, I'm not even going to... It's not even worth my time scheduling this right now, is it? Because it's just going to be gate issue after gate issue after gate issue. Right, there we go, that works. And that carries us through until... not even Thursday. Right, there we go. That carries us into Thursday. So that's good. So we can skip forward. I'll skip forward to Monday anyway, and I'll go to the bank tomorrow as well, because that's quite important. So let's jump forwards into Monday, and that's a full week now complete. Right, so 46%. So the image is always generally increasing. The personnel's gone drastically down. We're down at 66%, and that could be affecting first class. So we are going to go ahead and have it. We need to look at that ASAP. Right, so let's go to the bank first of all, because I think that's the big call of order. Just go ahead and see if there's been any changes in shares, any other airlines buying shares, or if there has been any share price drop. There has been 41%. Let's go. We are moving in here, so let's go ahead and do it. Literally, let's buy as much as we can, even with our 6 million. I want to buy stocks. Honey Airlines. 35. I can't take 35, but I'll take a solid 20. I will really happily take a solid 20. Just because they're so cheap, I might as well go ahead and do it right now. So that's us now owning, I mean, the share rate's gone drastically up. That's me up to 27%. So I need to just get to that 51, so we're over halfway there now. As long as Mario doesn't go back above 30, then we can buy out the airline, which we can possibly do in this episode actually. So all of a sudden things are moving very fast, though I am in the negative, I've just realised. I maybe did overshoot a little bit there, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and jump forward 2 more days, and then hopefully go back into the profit, because our Singapore to Perth, I think it is frequently going to make us money, which is good. So that's us back in the profit. I want to see how we're getting on. So these are consistently gaining me around 150,000, which is good. But again, there's a lot of gaps and spacing issues, and just... I need a new gate. So that's the next thing we're going to buy. So we're going to jump forward 2 days into Thursday, and then hopefully I should have 1 million so I can go ahead and buy another gate. It's really strange that no other airlines tend to buy gates in the airport, but I know for a fact quite a few airlines just don't actually use their home airport at all that much, which is understandable. Maybe Singapore isn't that profitable. Right, okay, so we are pretty much good to go again. This is why I wanted to stop on Thursday. So Perth to Singapore, Singapore to Perth. We have some free gates today, remarkably. Perth to Singapore, and then all of a sudden we're getting no gate clashes, which is great. Oh wow, we're on a streak here, let's keep going. Though again, we're just going to bump into more problems as we go on. So that's us fine till Sunday actually, which is good. There we go, that's a clean slate on the Cuxhaven at least anyway. The Erfurt's pretty good, and so's the Bamberg, so we could just literally run this now for days on end and just build up cash. One thing I do want to look at is the use of gates. So as we can see here, yeah, there's actually, it's not too bad. It is really in certain intervals though, because we do have large gaps, especially during the days of Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, so we could quite easily change things up. Outside of that, things are actually quite consistent on Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays. Very consistent actually, which is nice to see. However, in a lot of these cases it's just the one gate getting used, which is fair enough. Yes, this is what you need. You need an informer. Let me say that whole sentence again because I said it way too fast. You need an informer for this report, and that will be able to tell me what, I guess, the capacity use and the other airlines are which are travelling this route. Amazingly, we're already, I mean, we've gone down a bit on the Singapore to Bangkok, but we're now up very much, quite high actually, 44% on the Singapore to Perth, which is good to see. Right, so where are we at now? We are not bad, but I'm going to run this game just a few more days as well, because I want to go ahead and next get some advertising in. That's going to cost me, and I want to sort this new gate out very quickly. So let's go ahead and try do both of those, which we have the money for now. So let's go next door. Let's talk to the boss man. I actually kind of don't need a gate, but I'm going to need one anyway going forward, so that would be okay with me. Right, so that's me put down $1 million for that. Then Saturday, do you guys open on Saturdays? No, Saturday, Sunday closed. Right, that's great. So let's go ahead and jump forward all the way to tomorrow, so I can actually go ahead and rent this gate. Just because you build the gate doesn't mean you actually go ahead and get to rent the gate, so I always find that a bit weird. Anyway, that's gate 6, that's now ours, which is perfect. So let's go back into the office, jump forward to Monday. That will now give us our new gate, which is good, so that means scheduling should be a lot easier if I need to change the schedule, which I don't. So we've got 1, 2, 3 there, which is perfect. What I want to do now is go into the bank, see how we're doing there, and then speeds, I guess, waste time pretty much until midday when the advertising agency opens. It's really weird now that we're very unlikely to do orders again. That's very, very, very strange. Right, so your shares are back down at 40 after having that wee spike when I bought lots, and my share price is really, really high right now. It's actually the highest, or second highest in the game. Falcon Lines must have just shot back up there as well. But all in all, doing quite good. Right, let's go ahead and buy even more shares. Honey Airlines, 25%. I'm not going to be over, not do too much, 8%, so that gives me, I'd still need a bit of money for myself, so that's me up to 35% now, which is good. So we're very much closing in, and we'll be able to get there in the next episodes. Alright, so what I'm going to do to end this episode is I'm going to run for a few days, and then we're going to work on some sabotage stuff, thanks to Sebstar in the comments. So let's go ahead and jump forward to, I don't know, just a few days. I actually want to, I've still not been to the advertisers, have I? I need to do that. Right, let's work on the sabotage then. So, as you've seen there, I got the spider at the start of the episode from Air Travel. Now, there is sabotage in this game, but very much I have security, and security prevent me from a lot of sabotage. Typically, I don't do a lot of sabotage myself, but I can get caught out in a few ways, which security cannot prevent me from, so I need to go ahead and sort that out. Or I'm not paying necessarily for all the security, so there's some ways I can go ahead and I guess, minimize the impact of being targeted when I actually don't have security on. So we got the spider from the sabotage guy, which is good. Or we got the spider, so we need to take it to the sabotage guy. I've got some wee notes written down from the comments. I know very much I should probably just look all this up online. However, I will do that another time. So keep your hands off that. So that's not good. Can I give you the spider though? Okay, so you guys are just talking about spider. Do you really want to discard this? I don't want to discard it. I want to give it to you though. Right, okay, yeah, so you've taken it, which is good. So that means now I can take the dart. Right, okay, so that's perfect. So now we've got this dart from the moose's head. So the dart, if we take this to the advertising agency, That's going to take a while because we are needing to wait till midday because the students are lazy buggers. So as we can see, we are very, very busy. We've actually got Singapore and Bangkok's back to back. But I guess that's the two different planes running it. That's probably why we have so many gate issues, because I'm scheduling it at awful times. That's something I should have been aware of very, very quickly. Oh well, oops. Right, well we've got a third gate now anyway. I mean, it's an asset, that's the thing, it really is an asset, so that works out fine. Right, anyway, let's make our way up the stairs. And wait the extra 5 minutes that I need to now wait. A wee light will appear on the top of the door, and that means we are open for business. Hello gentlemen, I would like to improve the image of one of my routes. Now, as we can see, this route image has 100%. It is the second statistic from the bottom there. And the rent of that, surprisingly, is actually more. I guess I can fly that more frequently though. Anyway, also interestingly, capacity use, the slash 50%. So 50% of my planes are being filled in first class. So we still need to work on that. Again though, it's really down to me just not having the money to upgrade the plane, because I think that's making an effect. I could also go ahead and decrease the first class price, and I might do that by like $20–30 and just see how things are going. Anyway, sorry, I was too busy talking there. So I want to improve the image of one of my routes, Singapore to Perth, and then let's go for a TV spot because I don't really have the money for anything else right now. So that should at least kickstart some momentum anyway, and that means going forward we should be able to go ahead and start to see that plane. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is already pretty full, but I'd like to just see the route capacity just take it to the next level, and then we can maybe introduce some first class, because the Cuxhaven is a pretty nice plane. It's already quite minted. If you don't know what the word minted means, it's like quite good, quite nice, if you will. It's actually made a start. It's not that great. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge in the next episode, because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here. So I've gone ahead and integrated quite a bit of feedback into this episode. If you'd like your feedback integrated into a future episode, leave a comment down in the comment section below. Thank you to everyone who left a comment. Please leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are new around here. That's all for this video, so my name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.